What makes a perfect movie? Can there even be a perfect movie? There are many movies out there you could argue are masterpieces. But as an aristocratic film enjoyer, I must confess that I think Jurassic Park is my most watched movie. It's a really simple movie, it's not a deep one. I mean, it's definitely not as deep as the book, but it really doesn't need to be. It's just a lighthearted movie, despite the. When I first watched this movie, I was 5 years old, and it changed my whole world. I secretly stayed up late one night and turned on the TV, and for some reason, the channel had Jurassic Park on, and I was so enamored by it, the next morning I had to tell my parents about this awesome movie I secretly saw. I think I called it the T-Rex movie. And yeah, that was all I wanted to say. Anyways, Jurassic Park is a good movie. Now sit your ass down, player. We're gonna watch this shit. The movie begins with a bunch of dudes transporting a raptor, and then yeah, it is funny how how a raptor can overpower all these guys, but it can't beat some hashtag gifted kids later in the film. John Hammond's park was being built on faulty foundations from the beginning, if these were the guys working for him. Almost like it was designed to fail, to get him out of the picture after he invested his money. Okay, I always lose it when I see this scene. This is the hardest scene in the movie. Look at this pose he strikes. This is a king pose. Okay, so this guy's a lawyer and he's here to info dump with some hardworking men who are looking for dinosaur DNA. We then cut to Dr. Grant and his gal pal, Ellie Sadler. Grant spends his time digging for bones and threatening to cut open children. Before he can finish his deed and confirm his kill, he is interrupted by a kind old man who invites him to Jurassic Park. Little does John Hammond know that his park is being undermined by a smooth operator, Dennis Nedry, one of the most famous archetypes of the biblical Judas. He sees a park full of cool dinosaurs and selfishly plots to destroy it and steal the dinosaur DNA for monetary gain, betraying John Hammond. Hammond is a dreamer who builds. On the other hand, Nedry is a parasite who can only destroy. Evil cannot create anything new. It can only distort and destroy what has already been invented or made by the forces of good. Direct quote from Jurassic Park, the novelization by Michael Crichton. I think John Hammond says that somewhere. If you don't believe me, just read the book. It's 300 pages. Go knock it out, man. Just go take it out in an afternoon. And you'll see the quote. It's in there. On the helicopter to the island, we are introduced to Michael Crichton's self-insert character, Ian Malcolm, a mathematician who believes in chaos theory. Another foil to the whimsical Hammond. You can't have an island and make it full of cool dinosaurs you just can't, okay? Every time someone says they can bring back dinosaurs now, you get these people, they go, I've seen a movie that shows you how bad of it. Shut up, bro. It's a movie. Humans have dominated the earth for thousands of years and dinosaurs died to a rock. But dinosaurs are cool though, and one day I will see one. Or I will just die without seeing a dinosaur. Not really a 50-50, but I can believe. When they eventually get to the island, they see the dinosaurs. They get to see them. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to experience. So that should be me. Kick Ian out of there. Put me in there instead. He doesn't even like dinosaurs. The musical sting here is awesome. I get hyped every time. Once in the visitor center, they see how the dinosaurs are made and we get a look at pre-Looksmack's Dr. Wu. I like how everyone in this film just kind of looks like a normal dude, they're scientists or whatever. But you go to Jurassic World and that series, everyone's a supermodel or a bodybuilder. Even Dr. Wu gets yesified. I've been outside, I see people, no one looks like this. I don't want to say it breaks my immersion, but it's just a little goofy. Chris Pratt looks like this normally. Now we're introduced to Muldoon. This guy, he's just cool. I wish I could be like him. Though it is kind of funny seeing him with a gun in this movie, because I think I remember in the book, Hammond only let him have a rocket launcher. It's just how it is, man. Unfortunately, he is also a hater. Hammond just surrounds himself with negative Nancys. All the people who are negative Nancys, telling Hammond what he should and shouldn't do, haven't done anything. They're just sitting around going, that's not what I would do. Yeah, bro, we know because you don't do anything. Every supporting character in this movie just goes, Mom, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, brother, we know, we know. The negativity in this movie continues when Hammond gives Sadler a salad. When Hammond invited these critics to the island, he was hoping the wonders of the park could trump their skepticism, but instead their heavy-handed narcissism began to get at him, destroying his childlike whimsy preserved in his aging body. And now Hammond is beginning to crack under the negativity, and his treatment of Sadler was the first sign that his critics were getting under his skin.
Yes?
I really hate that man.
The tensions are compounded with the arrival of John Hammond's grandkids. The gang partake in a safari, but the dinosaurs are a no-show. Hammond feels horrible. He wants to show the wonders of Jurassic Park to these naysayers, but even the dinosaurs were part of the plot to destroy Hammond's dreams. They then jump out of the car to look at dinosaur shit. This is what John Hammond spent all these years creating. A storm is approaching the island, meaning most of the staff of Jurassic Park are headed off the island, giving Nedry the perfect opportunity to steal the embryos. He sabotages the island's systems and makes off with all the embryos. That's right, he elite hatched the whole island, and then he died to one of those lizards from Australia. Our main party, unfortunately, was stopped in front of the T-Rex enclosure. Like, even if Nedry pulled off this whole heist, brother was really willing to kill children for $1 million. Maybe he liked the idea of killing people. He had a photo of Oppenheimer taped to his computer. I have become death, feeder of children to dinosaurs. The lawyer makes eye contact with the T-Rex, and I guess he shits himself. It is pretty scary. And he makes his way to a conveniently placed restroom, abandoning the two children in the middle of a storm in a locked car. The T-Rex, aware that the kids are alone without adult supervision and in danger, begins to try and help them escape from the car. Our main characters were too bigoted to realize that the T-Rex was only trying to help them. Frustrated in her failed efforts, she killed the lawyer for abandoning the two children in the storm. So on rewatch of this movie, I kind of feel bad for this girl here. I never realized that, her brother, he seems like he's having a good time throughout the movie, but she just looks like she's going through hell. Like, why do they hate her so much? I don't want to say she's a punching bag, but man, these dinosaurs just don't like her. Grant and the gang get shoved off a cliff, and Ian gets rescued. While Ian is just sitting around thirst trapping, Dr. Grant learns to appreciate children and life, but finds out that the dinosaurs are also learning to appreciate life too. Back at the main facility, John Hammond has a crash out and forces Samuel Jackson to release the raptors into the park, the only remaining dinosaurs not yet freed. The world will learn to fear those who dream the brightest, for when they stop dreaming about hope, you get a nightmare. He does come to regret this decision, so he sends Mr. Jackson to go and fix it for him, but his lazy ass starts taking way too long, so an operator is released into the field and dies. But don't worry, Dr. Sadler saves the day and turns the power back on. Don't worry, that kid's fine. He just needs some milk. He needs some food. Sadler, Grant, and the kids are reunited just in time to die when all of a sudden the T-Rex comes back to save the kids once again and they all escape. And Grant overcomes his hatred of children but never gets over his fear of women. Brother, just talk to her.